Hey girl, it's Michelle for WeFly, and I'm here at Anne-Marie Davies' house in LA. I miss you already. It was so much fun hanging out with you. I wish we could have more time together. But I watched your video a bunch of times and I have a bunch of notes. So, here we go. First of all, it was awesome. You have like everything you need, which we talked about this week. You know what your strengths are, which is your flexibility, your musicality, and you use those really, really, really well in your piece. So continue to do that, know what your strengths are, and really, really, really utilize them. And that's going to be what sets you apart from other people, especially musicality, because a lot of people don't really know how to do that or do it well. And that's really special. That creates a really special experience for the audience if you can use your music and give the audience a really great experience that they don't get with other people who don't use music at all. You know what I'm talking about. But a couple things. In the beginning, you're starting in a crouched position, and the first thing you do is just whip your head up. And I would say those little things, especially with the music, are really effective if they're just bigger. So even if you're just starting, here, and you look up, it's more like, you know what I mean? Just make those moments really dramatic and a little bit more percussive. Just those little tiny details. I loved your opening spin flow sequence. I thought it was beautiful. It was clean. It was interesting. It had a level of difficulty. It used your flexibility. I thought it was really, really a great way to open it. The second spin that you do with the knee hook and then you fall into it, you could crank that more. You're going to use your flexibility. You're going to work on your hip flexibility and strength in your glutes and your butt, right? And then you'll be able to just really crank that back leg and really kick your hand and put your foot, in your mouth eventually. So a move like that, where you can use your back, try to really develop the strength in the muscles that are also utilized in the move, and then it'll just get deeper and bigger instead of just using the back flexibility that you have. When you start doing your dance moves around like 146, 147, I think you can just spend more time with those dance moves instead of them just being like transitional or a way to catch your breath or a throwaway move. Like those are those little things, those details that make a big difference. And you know the music. We don't know the music yet. So even if you're just doing, you can really use the accents in the music and make those little transitional moments something like that's going to make us pay attention, because we know what you're going to do on the pole. Well, maybe not, but pole moves are pole moves. But when you can use the floor and your movement and your body and your head and the way you look, those are things that are really going to make us pay attention. The climb and then the drop was awesome. It was perfect. That was a great use of musicality. It was a surprise. So I loved that. I would just say keep that surprise going. You climbed up and then you dropped right on that like really dramatic point in the music, and then you did a little spin to the floor, which I call the faint spin. And again, that just could have been a little bit more dramatic and continue that level of surprise. So you drop and then whoosh, really like whip your head around in that faint spin. Do you know what I mean? Just continue that intensity with the music and use your head, whip your head, make the movement really clean and intense and surprising. I think those are the little details that again are going to make you stand out. I would, again, also when you're transitioning from the spin pole to the static pole, that's, again, a moment in the piece that's really important to me is the transitions and the floor work. And hopefully you learned, some of the things that we did this weekend that you can use for floor work, but take more time there, let the audience see your lines. There was something, you came down to the floor and then you did one of these, really reach teach and show the audience this picture before you come down and go to the next pole. So when you're using the floor, use the whole floor, use the whole space around you to extend your arm longer, to extend your legs longer, and really just milk those shapes that you're making for the audience. Let's see. Oh, so then you're on the static pole, which was great. I loved your first spin that you did. That was awesome. You're doing a lot of work on static pole, which is great, and all the moves that you're doing are good. They're difficult, but it seems like you're just doing, you know, one trick and then coming down to the floor, doing another trick, coming down to the floor. And this is something that I had to work on for myself, which is really hard, but it's trying to make your static pole passes longer. For example, climbing to the top of the pole, doing a sequence, doing another sequence, maybe re-inverting, doing something else, and working your on-pole transitions to make your passes on the static pole and spin pole longer. Do you know what I mean? So instead of just doing a trick, coming back to the floor, and then using the floor to get back up for an inversion, try to make those static pole passes longer. It's harder to do. It takes more endurance and more strength because you don't have the floor. But I would say that's something that you probably really need to work on. So give yourself exercises like for a whole song or for like 2 minutes, don't come off the pole. And you have to do, you know, these 5 moves. You know, try the jade, the allegra, a handspring, the butterfly, you know, full bracket hold, put all of those things in without ever coming down to the floor and see what kind of transitions you can make on the pole. It's hard, but I think you can do it. Another thing to do that's great on static pole, so it doesn't look like you're just doing trick, down, trick, down, trick, down, are things like spins. I love spins. People don't do enough spins, and spins are fun. You can be really creative with them, and they look like you're dancing. So it can also give you a little bit of a break, you know, to do a pass on the static and then do like a spin flow combo or a body wave or a walk or a pirouette combo, and then do another static pole pass. It just breaks it up a little bit, gives you a little bit more variety of things to do, maybe a little bit of a break, but just something to think about is to add some more spin flows into the static pole work. Oh, and again, your dance transitions, again, can just be longer, cleaner, and more meaningful. Those are just, again, the little details that matter to me and will set you apart. So use those moments. Use those moments of transition and dance better. I'm not going to ask what happened with the Allegra, the Jalegra thing around like 340 on spin pole. Something looked like it was going a little weird there, but whatever. Your ending was great. You did that Remy sit and with the flexibility of your back. Loved it. Great way to finish. So overall, I think it was a great piece. It's very comprehensive. It has everything you're looking for: flexibility, strength, floor work, spins, musicality. Good. Really, really, really good. So I hope there's these notes just give you a little bit more to work on to kind of just set you apart. A couple other little things just to think about. The Mighty Grip ankle things, I would try just not to wear those. I wear them sometimes too, but it just makes the judges and the audience think like, why is she wearing those? Are they necessary? You know, just try to get out of that habit, which I know you can do. And for every trick that you do, whether it's the brass monkey, a handspring, the Allegra, no adjustments. Do not make any adjustments with your hands, your feet, anything. You don't want to look wobbly. You don't want to look handsy. It's an exact science, which is just practice. You have to know exactly where to put your hands, where to put your weight, where to stretch your leg, which angle you're going to go to, so that when you get on stage, it's perfect. You don't have to make any adjustments and like re-hook a knee or hop, you know, into the position. Just practice so it's an exact science, so everything is perfectly clean and there are no adjustments on stage. Other than that, using your musicality, using that back flexibility, but again, training those muscles that accompany whatever you're doing to make it stronger and deeper. Draw out those dance sequences, use those lines, make them longer, make them more meaningful, and then those percussive surprise moments with the music. You're gonna be awesome. You are awesome. So I hope that helps, and I hope I get to see you again, work with you again. It was really fun being here in LA. So keep in touch, call me, email me, WeFly me. If you have any other questions or need any more help, I'm here for you. Thanks, babe.